And thank you for waiting. And we will now resume the second part of the drawing with on this Paintology channel. The reason I spread the two sections together is because I didn't want to encourage people who are interested in drawing with Paintology to check out both channels. There's a history to how I started the two channels. The Produce channel was started at the beginning, about maybe 6 years ago, and that's when I was doing traditional art. So I was doing a lot of charcoal drawing, acrylics, trying out different grey tone drawing, trying out all kinds of experimenting a lot with my painting and artwork. And then you'll see that if you go back in history and check the first videos on the Produce channel. And then you'll see gradually that I made a transition to the digital drawing using the famous sketchbook, Sony Sketch. That was a real huge, wonderful app that attracted millions of people around the world. And it was primarily well known for its community as well. So a lot of some of the philosophy of Paintology sort of stemmed from what Sketch was doing, and I tried to improve on it. And it had tools that were more akin to what people were familiar with, like pencil, ink, and brush, watermark, things like that. So they could immediately relate to it. But the point is, digital should not be referred to as the same way as those traditional tools, because it's not. It's a different mindset, different set of tools, different approach to drawing art, like you can see here. This is something you probably have not seen in Sketch. And if you were a big user of Sketch, you would know that they kept it simple, and they let the community drive the artwork. And they used layers, and they didn't use much of the digital tools. But the point is, when I was using it, I created some nice drawings. You'll see it in the mid part of the videos. If you checked out my videos, you'll see that I made a few drawings. Then, then I discovered that I could pull out my Paintology app and make drawings that way. And I was very pleasantly surprised that the app that I had designed many, many years ago, 2012, to cater to a growing user base of digital artists, but approaching art in the same manner as I'm doing now, was was not fully understood, misunderstood by the majority of the population, and they didn't understand how I was making these drawings. So it's a bit like people are not able to understand formulas. They get lost or they switch off. It's probably the same thing. And but unless you do it, you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to learn much. So I got hopped onto that, then reshaped the Paintology app to what it is now. So 4 or 5 years, I've had like 44 iterations, releases of the app. So you can download this app from Google Play Store, and you can see for yourself. But I'm going to change it around a bit because a lot of people are still not getting it. So I'm going to try and shape it a little bit more. You make it more user friendly for your needs. So if you have any ideas and thoughts here, please do let me know, including if you like to help the team grow. So I have a small team right now, but with 100, almost 150,000 users on each channel, I'm likely to grow faster as well and get bigger. hopefully from the interest of all the people who like drawing digitally on their phone or tablet, and take it from there. So I do love to hear from you. Not just, I mean, I've gone beyond most people's getting accolades for their artwork. I've done artwork that has received accolades, but that doesn't really interest me much. Sounds like a song, like Shania Twain's song. But anyway, so that doesn't interest me much because I've had far more greater breakthroughs in my lifetime when I was doing research electronics. So I'm used to it, but what I want is feedback, proper constructive feedback on what I'm doing, showing you if you like it, if I need to change things. So that would be really helpful. And you can also, for the right people, they can come on board, help, help and be the early pioneers of this method of drawing and help it grow. So I look forward to hearing from you. So let's continue this drawing. Matthew Perry, we can see that we've captured his grin, his very famous grin, and the glint in his eyes, isn't it? Exactly what we want. But there's still more to be done. So what can we do? So this is where I'm going to change it up a little bit and do something different. So I'm going to go and keep to the line brush, and I'm going to show you what this is. This is beautiful. This is all the tool you need. You don't need to look for textures and brushes or blending tools to smooth this out. I'll show you how you do blending very easily. And I'm going to do it. I've got two possibilities with the density or the shade. Okay. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use you stick to the line brush and stick to the density. So I'm going to show you, introduce you to the real power of density. Many of you will overlook this. They won't understand what it means, but it gives it so much power. It's the same way when you pick different colors. Think about, like, if you got a box of colored pencils, right? They've got primary colors yellow, and then they may have 3 or 4 tones in yellow and 3 or 4 tones in red. With digital, let's say we want to pick the red. Let's go for red here. Look at that. Look at the tonal variations you can get on there, right? There's more than any box of colored pencil will get you, that's for sure. But here's another way that you can achieve the tones, and that's through density. And this is, I'm going to show you. So let's pick this red color here. Okay, and then let's set this to, I'm going to show you what I mean by this color, okay? Let's say, see that one? Do you see that? Let's go closer so I can show you what I'm talking about. There, see that? That density setting is 100%, means that you can draw on that and you can go over it again, but it's still the same color. It's an ink, right? Now let's see what happens when I select the 150% density, right? Look at that. The tone has changed. This is what it is. That's exactly how traditional materials are fashioned, for you to find the mid-tone. If you have a light tone of the yellow, let's say 3 tones of the red, 3 colors of the red, 4 colored pencils of the red, and you have the lowest tone, you're going to achieve gradients of those tones by mixing those tonal colors, right? But in digital, you don't have to. That's why I'm able to make traditional art on digital. So that's 50%, right? Now notice what happens if I go over it. Look at the tone, it's changing. Look at that. Again, again, again. It's gone to the 100% tone. That gives it real power. It's like pencil. Yeah, you got it. It's like just like pencil. Now, what happens if we go right down? 17%. Look at that. Such a light tone. Can you get variations of these tones with pencil? I guarantee you're not. That's the reason I can create photorealistic drawings, because I'm able to get the tones to the finest degree. I don't have to rely on pencils, and I don't have to rely on the granular areas of pencils. So look, with this, you can imagine as you go down, you need to build it up to get the dark tones. Gives you a pencil-like effect. That is exceptionally powerful. And that is what we're going to do here, right? So let's look at this. And I'm going to show you his forehead. Look at his forehead. Notice that his forehead, right? Let's flick. It's dark tone here, and then a light tone there. So we got some of the tones already. So we're going to now, let's say take it 25%, just an example, and let's say 12%, right? Let's see what that brush size is first. That's about this much. That's fine. So let's now pick this color and just go to the edge and blend it. See what happens? It's a bit too much of a big brush. Now I'm going to reduce that to about 8. Let's do that again because I noticed it was encroaching in neighboring areas. So pick that color and then just blend it. Pick that dark color, just blend it on the edge. See that? See how it's blending? Isn't that wonderful? Look at that. Take it down even more, I think. So 8%. That's what I have. So just play with it and see what works for you. Right? That's all I'm doing. Blending. So I'm just blending these hard edges so it looks like it's realistic, right? That's all I'm doing. Blending, going over it a few times, just like I showed you earlier. See, no tools required, no tools. No blending tools required. Just taking out the hard edges of this. I'm keeping it to my drawing. Just keep doing that, okay? And then his forehead wouldn't look like a clunk of material put together, right? Look blended and smooth. Earlier I was very keen to move to the shade brush, which is another method of doing if you've been following. Right, let's go his eyes. Just shade that. Just blend it in. That's it. See how it's blending? Beautiful. I'm still drawing it just like pencil drawing. Colored pencil. Isn't that wonderful how this works? Look at that. His forehead is looking like as it should be. Notice that it's got a light yellow patch there. So we're going to try and capture that yellow patch and just accentuate it there. And then it's got that dark. We can still pick the colors from the, and then we can also enhance it either through ways. This way, enhance the color and then move it up a little bit, or density, up to you, whatever. But I like to keep the density setting so I can work on all the whole face. So I'm just going to go through that and do the whole face. And then every time I'm looking at it, look at that color. That color is not the dark color we initially picked up, so we can easily fix that. Okay, and then we have this. Let's just blend it. We're not worried about creating the features here, we're just blending. Right? So his face looks like it's a real face, right? Even here, look at his nose. That nose is too dark here, so we can get the right color. Just blend it. Let's look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Now it's becoming real, isn't it? We got very large brush comparatively. So let's just see what's happening under his eyelids there. So I'm going to pick that, get that color there, and then pick some white and push it back. Yeah, okay. That's all I'm doing. And then I can see, oh, we've got some light tones going on here. Right? There. So, yes, it's beginning to look like Matthew Perry now. You have to admit. I'm sure if he looked at this, he would be quite pleased. Look at that. Look at even the density is so high, and you can feel that brush. Right there. So I'm looking at the whole drawing and then seeing how the colors are shifting here. I'm just blending it in. That's all I'm doing, blending it in. Look at that unmistakable smile, corner of his lips. Such a fascinating history to Matthew Perry's life. I mean, I've read it very quickly. Look at it, his cheekbones coming here. Pick the color you right. Don't, and always check the reference image. See those colors? See those colors now here? That's also blended. Let's blend that in. Perfect. This is just like traditional art. You gotta admit, it's nothing complicated. See how we brought out the whole picture? Very little effort on our part. Right? See how we did that? Then here, just that tiny bit there, but we don't know what that is. Again, that's beginning to look like him now, isn't it? So let's just continue. And just experiment with it. I'm liking the way it's coming out. So I'm quite happy with that. Anywhere where you see could be improved. This brings me to the question of the drawing process. Many of you don't know what that means. And I was looking it up, and then I actually found out that there's a lot more to the drawing process than meets the eye. Sorry, that's no pun intended. I was just... See now it's got that lovely white halo going over his eyes. There. So I've captured that, try and capture that, and then look at that lovely. As you look through it, you're going to find, so many different. And then you can tone it down here by taking it a little bit that way, not too white, harsh. There. Right, giving it more shape. Now let's see what we got. We got this, we got the lower lip. We haven't done this little patch. You might have had a goatee, I don't know. You may have had a goatee. Just okay, he's coming alive. There. And you can see there what we need to do. So as you keep looking, you'll find what you need to do in the drawing process, improve it. See, I'm not turning to layers. I'm not turning to tools. This is all done by hand. And that's the great beauty of drawing by hand. Right, see that? That's exactly the way traditional artists like to draw, and the reason why most people like watching them drawing. They're not diving into tools. Look at that, it's got a stretch mark there. Right there. Now look at this light area here. Let's capture that. Look at that, it's beginning to look like him. I mean, it's unmistakable tight lips and his wide grin-like smile. Right there. So we've done that, but we can improve it even more. See how quickly that was done. Now I'm going to switch to the head. So to switch to the head, I'm going to save this first. Okay, then pick it up from my paintings again. But this is only because I have a prototype app. And then I'm working on a prototype app, and the designer specifically told me to always save, whenever I can. And probably testing the performance of the app, etc., with this new prototype that's coming out. So let's look at his hair. Let's compare our drawing, this one, to his hair. So he's flicked back and forth. So drag, if it's not working, drag it all the way along to the right, and then click the left button, okay? You should be switching back and forth. Look at his hair. Now the hair compared to his face, to me, means he has a very higher density of hardness, which means density. So I would take that up 80%. Right. Let's stick to 8%. And then let's see what we can do. We can select this, and then that's way too big. Right, so I'm going to take that off. So for the hair, it's way too big. So I'm going to try and use, because I'm going to use some strokes, right? 1.5. Okay. So I'm going to pick some of his random hair. I'm going to use the reference image to pick some random, right? Pick some random colors and then just draw using a stroke like what I'm doing, okay? And I picked it like 80%, but I may need to go down as I keep drawing, but let's see what happens. Let's do these lock of hair there, right? Okay, just do it. Don't worry about too much. Right there. It looks like a scruffy. Looks like he didn't have time to put any effort on his hair. Yeah, but still, nevertheless, looks good. Let's continue down there, and then we're going to try a different. Right there. And then let's go to the right. Right there. Can you see? There. And then we can use some of the color palettes of some of the primary colors we picked up, right? And just use as a filler and pick another color. See that? Those colors. And there's there. Got a nice color there. And then whenever you can, use it. Right? So it looks like we're giving him more of a luscious hair. And look at the actual color packet. Always look at your color palette. What do we got here? Got a nice little tone. We don't know what that is, but don't overdo it with the same tone. Pick another color. Okay, just to beef it up. Okay. Well, that's looking quite good. And then here, yeah. So all it is. He hasn't got a very best of hair. So that's going up there, and then that's going up here, and then maybe pick the white. Just make his hair retreat a little bit. Right there. And he hasn't got the best of. So we're gonna now focus our attention. Now we've got this image. We got his hairdo to a level we think it's all right. It's not the best, but you can see how you can continue to improve that. I think I need to improve on this famous eye of his where he squints almost as he smiles. Yeah. So how are we going to do that? Let's look at it now. These dark colors are very bold, so I think selecting that size is all right. 1.5% is pretty good. And you may want to do this. You may want to go halfway and then continue to see the reference image while you pick the colors, like I'm doing now. Okay, so you can see where the different tones are. Look at the tones. I'm now operating at such a low level, high resolution level, that when we zoom out, the eye will not be able to differentiate some of these tones, and we'll have a tendency to just fill it up, and give the illusion of more detail than there is. That's what artists do, actually. If you go to any museum, they're basically, when you look close up, like when I went to the London Art Museum, National History. I looked at one of Turner's paintings, looked close up, and then I realized that he's drawing at a very close scale. His painting was a mishmash of colors, nothing more. But when you look away, it all wonderfully comes together. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Let's see if we've captured the size. Look at the eye. Let's see if we've captured the glint in his eyes. I think we have, isn't it? Let's go on the right eye and do the same thing. Remember to do the same technique, otherwise you're going to get slightly off put. Don't change the density while you're using the same technique for the same eye, well, the same face, because you're going to find that it's going to look odd more left and right eye. So I'm just getting the tones such a higher resolution, as you can see. And picking out this wonderful tones that looks like textures, but they're not. It'll appear like texture, but since we're drawing now, since we're in a sort of a drawing mode, we can add more details very randomly, very quickly. Just giving a set of details. Look what I'm doing. Just picking the color tones. And this is what I got. Let's see if that works. It's working nicely, isn't it? And now I do the same thing with his lips. Right? This is how acrylic painting is done. Oil paintings, nothing more. They start using a fine brush. Just shaping the faces, the features, and then as we operate at this high resolution, we're able to shape these features much more so, and select the tones also much more so. So I'm still keeping it 100%. And remember, 50% of the, remember with these skills under your belt, you can make photorealistic drawing freehand. And I've done that many times because I've tuned my brain to tonal colors. So tune my brain. Look at this harsh line. We want to probably capture that if we can. So let's keep at it. Right there. Look at these beautiful lines. We can probably just randomly just do it. Right? Whatever colors you pick, the tonal colors will be that tone at that such low resolution, high resolution, I would say. Okay, and then let's refine his nose. It's got a very pointed nose. Okay, like this. That's how we create textures. We don't use a brush to create textures, we do it ourselves. Create the texture ourselves. Okay, let's see if we've captured some of his lips. Yeah, some of that. That's definitely looking like him now, isn't it? So we can see here, it looks a little messy. So let's increase the brush. reduce take out some of that messiness. So what we can do is we can still go here. That large brush will just clean it out. Right? And then, right there. That's all it does, cleans it out. And then you can see here, that just smooths it out. And then you can see here, just that's all right, the brush. And then you can see here, just get, probably had a tash this time. Okay. And then here you can see on the right side, a little bit of balancing out there. Okay, with the density setting. And let's see where we are. This is beginning to look good. And I think we can form the shape of his chin. Right, let's do that. I've probably got 15 minutes. I'm going to work on this 15 minutes. So you can see here, I'm going to take some of that tone, balance it out. You can see that he's got a little bit of a lighter tone here, and then a bit of a darker tone here, and then some light tones. So we can bring it down. If the tones are heavy, bring it down. Heavy meaning it's too harsh. Tame it with the density setting by reducing the density setting. Okay, I could take that here. Let's see what that looks like. It's so much better, isn't it? And now we can probably see this covering, like covering it, so we can just shape it. Now we can see that we can fix some of his suit. Let's fix his suit right away. So as you can imagine, we need to increase that to, let's say, 50% of the suit out the way. And the brush size 4%, let's say. Then pick the blue. Perfect. All right. And then you can see this. Might even need that blue there. And just balance it out like that. Around the collar. Fix the other side of the collar as well. Lovely. Okay, pick that black. Smooth it out. That's what we got here. Then that's working nicely. Fix that in no time, right? And now let's continue. I feel like I need to put a little bit of a chin to him on his drawing. So I'm going to do this. Let me save this. Save. Okay, and then go back, and then I'm going to open that again. So let me put a bit of a chin to his. So let's pick this. So we got 4%, we're all right. And now we can do two things. We pick that color, so we can just enhance it slightly. We can either go this direction or that direction. I feel we should go in this direction. And you can see it here. Wow, it's quite harsh. Let's see if that works. Yes. Look at that, how we pull that off. And then we can go here and get the intensity down to just diffuse that area here. And then diffuse all these other colors that he has that are going on here. And then we can see here that that should be a diffuse color. So we're going to increase that brush size a little bit. And it should be diffused, isn't it? So let's diffuse that. And then what has he got? He's got these sort of colors going on here, and then just meld it in like that. Okay, let's see. That's great. Look at that. His cheekbone is looking a bit like Tom Cruise now, isn't it? And here, look at that color there. Yeah, so let's decrease that, leave that. And now let's see if we can shape that a little bit. So that's white, because we haven't done a white background, so let's take it out. Okay, you can see how long it takes to take out. Okay, so we got that. And now I think we can do something around his nose here, since we're doing so well. Take that down to match the size. Okay, I might take the density down even more, just so I have more control over this. And pick this. Oops. And then increase the size a little bit, tad, just to get a little bit of uniformity here. Right. That's some uniformity. Reduce the brush size. Then here. See how I'm doing this? In freehand drawing, I won't have that ability, but believe me, because I'm practicing, I will know exactly how to do it. You don't become good by single drawing. And then here I can see that there's a little bit of, it's got a very pointed nose. It's fine. Not complaining, but here. Right there. And what have we got here? Oh, you got a beautiful lighter color coming. Yes, see how that's building up, builds up slowly. And then we have this color. And we can pick that, change that, get the volume colors here, happening here on his nose. Look at that here. Got a lovely tone going on here. And then this dark tone, right, shape up, and then here another tone. See how I'm creating textures very rapidly by following the tonal values that are going on around. Right, these are tonal colors that make up. Then here, the tone, I can use a horizontal mark, and then across the forehead, it's got this kind of tone going. on. So blend it here. And then here he's got this little bit of patchy work going on here. And here, this unmistakable line that most people have as well gives a character life to the whole. But this really will help your tonal. You see, I'm drawing and painting at the same time. See how it's coming out? Now the neck. Right, I can do the neck. See that neck? It's actually got a lighter tone all the way here. So we can increase that because it's a large area we're covering. Then let's get that color. Right there. And then I got this lovely color there. That's quite thick brush. Always be aware of the size of your brush. Okay, and here it's got this lovely light tinge going on here. And then another light tinge going on there. Just creating the shape as I'm doing this. Oh, we've got to capture that, isn't it? Can't wait to get to that bit. See that tinge? And then his ears as well. And then we can use the white to shape. Right there, why not? Now see that lovely grey? You could ask yourself, is that the night tone? So smaller, right? Right? So we could really go down and say, is that the right tone? It's not. So it's got a little bit thin. So not the right tone now. And I keep driving. So this is how you improve tonal coloring. Look at that. I think that's about the right size. Yeah. So now we go here, and then we draw this line, wonderful line. Go over the middle, and then see if we manage to capture that. Almost, isn't it? It looks like a cut more than anything else. So we can use a little bit of the density gradient and just add a little. That's right, diffuse it. Okay. All right, we're doing well here. Just gonna go here and then take it up a bit because we've come to the hair. I'll just refine the hair, isn't it? Wow, his nose has gone a lot better. So everything's going improving. You can see as you go through and through, you'll see that his hair looks like blobs. The blob side is looking. Look, we can use the same thing that we did. Increase the density instead of the tone. I don't like that, so I'm going to increase that and do that. Do these lovely colors. these unmistakable lines that make him who he is, right? These stretch marks. And then across there, select this color. We have not got the density. You could increase that, get more density out of that. See if we've got the colors. If not, just keep changing it. That's too thick. Can you see how density that was? Can you reduce the opacity through here, right, and decrease the size, and get roughly what this is looking like. It's a little darker, so maybe I should just go a bit here. Let's try that. I'm not going to use the same color. Ooh, that's harsh. So let's take that down. I think that's looking good, isn't it? It's looking good. Let's see. Look at that. It's looking already good. But the only thing is, this looks a little weird, isn't it? Every time you make improvements, you think you got it, but then again, you haven't. Okay. Then you got this weird flesh color coming across here, so we're going to blend it. Right, that's it. And then there's so much you can do. I'm just showing you just the tips of drawing. Yeah, see, drawing's really improved. And then we can do his. I think we'll call it a day with finishing this, taking the density now that we're working on these tiny details, right? So let's take it to 70%. The brush is way too big, so 6%. And then just round it off. Just do this. Right there. Right there. And then just take it down even more for the hair. And then use this hair color. And then take it to grey tone. Right, and see if that works. And then make sure you got that face, that, you know, that one. See that? There. There, let's see if that worked. That's looking good. Managed to pull it off really quickly. And then go over his hair with a really high brush size, which is good. Take out these weird marks here, you know. Just pick a random set of colors. Don't worry about getting it right. These are hair. And now we know we could do a lot there as well. Right? But we don't have time. Right there. Look at that. So nice. I think we paid a nice tribute to this great actor who sadly passed away. Right. So do we have anything on his forehead? Look at that. The forehead. The actual colors. Let's take that. Take that back down again. Pick these colors and see if we can. I'm going to add a little bit of. There's a very lovely light color. Blush tone. Okay, and then we got this. That looks. It actually looks like that. The character from. And then you can see on his right here. We haven't captured that quite nicely. Then we can take that down and increase the density somewhat to capture this area that looks a little lopsided. And then here. Okay, I think that's good enough. So I'm happy with that, and you can see that you can go on and on until you get photographic quality, photorealistic quality. So we'll stop here, and really appreciate you joining me. Please do subscribe and give me some feedback on what you want to see, what you felt, if you had a chance to draw block coloring, if you got anywhere with it, and where you're struggling with, and perhaps I can help you. And it's always good to get off the baseline and to expand your skill set. So I'm going to sign here, and then we'll finish here. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Please do subscribe so I can keep bringing you this. Oops. So Paintology. There you are. So thank you, and we didn't even do his eyebrows. Thank you. I hope to see you again for another session. Bye bye.